Alright, it's been a little while since I've done anything American inspired, so that's what this is going to be. It's going to be something big, it's going to be something heavy, and it's going to be something running on a large V8 engine. 60-degree V8 aluminum will make it nice and torquey. It's down to 5 liters out of it. That'll do. I'm gonna end up messing around with this engine more anyways. Tuning never turns out perfectly your first pass through as it is. So yeah, whack that way up. I guess I'm just gonna make what would be essentially a turbo diesel V8. So sure, we'll go with a nice high amount of boost. Make that, well, probably not that big, but direct injection, twin, performance, mid, bring that up a little bit. And I'm gonna do something strange, and I'm gonna run it on compressed gas because it's an option. It's a weird option, and I like weird things. If you watch any of my last few videos, know I like doing dumb stuff with cars in this game just because the game gives me the option to do so. Oh, and it broke. Okay, I mean, that's not the greatest curve in the world, but we have a functioning engine. I will go back, I will tune it, and get everything working all nice and hunky-dory as it's supposed to. Rear-wheel drive, auto manual, because again, American inspired, seems about right. What is it with this top speed limiting me to 168 miles an hour? That doesn't seem right when it has an estimated of 240 almost. Sports compound. It's going to have a mountain of torque by the time I'm done tuning it, so I want some nice big beefy tires to be able to put the power down. Vented disc 6-piston, just absolutely massive brakes for this thing. It's going to be a bit on the heavy side. We'll throw a sport interior with a premium HUD. Americans like their fancy infotainment things in their car. Rack and pinion steering seems about right. Advanced 20 safety, active sport. Yeah, sounds about good to me. All right, so $28,000, 22.1 mpg as it stands at the moment. But again, that could be better or significantly worse by the time I'm done retuning the engine. So about 4,000 pounds right where I wanted it to be. Looking pretty good, So yeah, it's now my favorite part of the process where I get to put a design on this thing. So I will throw some shit at the car, and when I have something that I like, I will show you as per the usual. All right, after I don't know how long, it has a front end on it, and it's one that I actually really like. Super proud of the headlights, probably the best set of headlights I have honestly ever made. I usually suck at doing headlights, but those ones actually turned out really, really nice. And just in general, I like the way it's looking so far. Big old Ram air intake there on the top, derpy little smile at the bottom. So I just got the rest of the car to do now. So back to it. All right, it's done. I gotta say, probably one of the best cars I have made in a very long time. A very clean design for it. It took me, I don't know how long to get this done. Probably like 3 or 4 hours of work on this thing, of putting things on and then deleting it and redoing it and deleting it, and just it was a bit ridiculous getting it to this point. But I'm super happy with how this thing ended up turning out. But apparently nobody else would like it. Like, nobody anywhere would want to buy this thing. For some reason, the game has it put into off-road budget. Yes, this totally just screams off-road, doesn't it? But none of that really matters. So I did end up going and tweaking the engine, got more power out of it. What it looks like now, 1,300 Newton meters of torque right up there at the top, and it holds it pretty well through a lot of the rev range. I think my favorite part is at idle, it makes 400 Newton meters of torque, just sitting there doing nothing. It does that. I like this thing. It should be fun in Beam, which is where we are going right now. All right, and here we are in BeamNG Drive at the automation handling circuit with the Helios Wraith to see how well this thing can drive. Could be an interesting experience with the amount of torque that this thing has going directly to the rear wheels. But I will say this much about it. It sounds really, really nice. Like, I enjoy the sound of the V8 this thing has under the hood. So let's see what it can do. Nice kick a wheel spin off the line, as you would expect from what is essentially a, well, modern American muscle car, despite the rather unusual engine that it has. That turbo flutter, though. Be driving this thing a bit more gently than it could probably handle. But I'm also afraid to really go too crazy with this thing. Or... Oh, come on, keep going. There we go. Didn't hit anything, we shall continue. We got a little bit of air on that one, that's a first. Never had anything go fast enough to jump on that crest. Oversteer, ooh. Little late on the brakes. I remember this car is 4,000 pounds, it's not the lightweight things that I've here the last couple times. But I will say, for what it is, I think it's actually driving pretty nicely. It's mostly got understeer, which I am a-okay with. Understeer is easier to manage than oversteer. I figured oversteer would be a much bigger issue than it is. It's got a little bit of it, not perfect. But if I can keep it on the actual road, it does pretty well at putting all that, well, I guess all that torque down. Power isn't all that crazy, not compared to what this thing would be rivaling, which would be things like the Hellcats and the Demons and the Corvettes and things of that sort. Mustangs, so this thing having like 700 some odd horsepower isn't too ridiculous. It's that torque though. I don't know what it is into foot-pounds, but I know 1,500 Newton meters is a lot. So. And the keen-eyed of you may have noticed this car now has a trailer hitch on it. Well, after I'm done here, I want to go and do a pull test to see how well this thing would be, how well this thing would work for towing things. Okay, so I mean, I was babying it a little bit. It's lower than the tiny V16 supercar from last time, but you know, all right, it drove well. I was a little bit afraid of it, but on to the towing test, and then we'll round things off by going to the drag strip and seeing what this thing can do as a drag car. Will we get another wheelie? I don't know. I guess we'll see. All right, so here we are at the West Coast USA highway with a 1,400 kilo trailer attached to this thing. So, you know, just over a ton. And I'm going to be surprised if this car can't move this trailer. I want to see if there's any bigger ones that I can attach to this thing, but I think the rest of them require like the big, like fifth wheel semi-truck attachments to really do anything with. Oh yeah, this is pulling this thing with zero issue at all. Really not surprised. So I guess let's see how fast I can go. Because, you know, high speeds with a trailer is always a good idea. We don't have any death wobbles yet, which is surprising. Getting there, though. There it is. There's the wobbles that you don't want. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. All right, well, that ended about how you would expect it to. All right, so here we are over at the drag strip on the West Coast for the final test for the car, just to see what it can do in a quarter mile. I was going to mess around with some more trailers, but there's just nothing else that can hook up to this car without needing additional mods or going back into automation and adding and changing things, and too much of a hassle. So, let's see how she does on a track run. Well, not the most exciting launch in the world. Definitely no wheelie out of this thing. But a 10.2 quarter mile? Not too shabby. Run one more time. Yeah, it just bogs on the launch, which is unfortunate. But I suppose it's a little better than just endless wheel spin or something, so yeah. About the same time. 10.2 on the quarter mile. Yeah, I think that's going to about do it for the Helios Wraith. Fun car to build, fun car to design. I don't know what's going on with that headlight. I just now noticed that it exported funny. But yeah, let me know what you think. Got any suggestions for things I should try, things I should do? Let me know. Leave a comment, maybe a like. Anyway, see y'all next time.